In today's video, I'm going to rank the best AI coins to hold for this cycle. I'm specifically going to focus on which ones have the most potential to make you a lot of money from today. I'm also going to share a new narrative idea I've recently discovered. And finally, I'm going to discuss a new strategy with these AI plays to compound money this cycle and get you to your target dollar amount much faster. Before we start, please remember that nothing in this video is financial advice and I am not a financial advisor. Starting off with Near, every single coin needs to have two good narratives. It needs to be in a good broader narrative, and second, it needs a reason to be picked over all the other coins in its sector. The narrative for Near is really simple and compelling. It's the premier AI layer 1. I can imagine a thesis forming where people compare the market caps of Near and Sol and say that Near can catch up. Okay, so now that we've established that Near has a good narrative, we need to evaluate the risk to reward of buying Near today. It's at $6 billion in market cap, and I asked this poll on X, and the majority of people got it wrong. The truth is, only 6 new projects got to $40 billion plus last cycle. That to me is a very significant ceiling and a problem when identifying the price potential for Near. I'm going to use this analysis as a benchmark throughout my crypto journey because I think for a coin to hit $40 billion plus, it needs to unlock main character status or be really well established. Of course, you can argue that the overall market cap of crypto is increasing over time, so more coins will break $40 billion. And I do agree with that, but the problem is there's much more dilution this cycle. So with that being said, I believe it'll be very difficult for Near to break $40 billion plus. The truth is we can never predict for sure how many projects will get past 40 billion, but only 6 projects during the last cycle with all the positive tailwinds that we had is something that can't be ignored. It's a very real ceiling in my opinion. So with that being said, I think probabilistically and logically, it would make more sense as a Near holder to take profit at the $25 to $40 billion range. That market cap would also align with a huge 25 to 40x this cycle for Near from the cycle bottom. So in that case, therefore, I'd rank Near as an A tier hold for this cycle if you're happy with a 4 to 5x. If you're someone who wants a lot more, Near may as well be ranked as a void because it wouldn't really make sense for you to hold it. Next up, we've got Render. The intrinsic narrative that Render has that distinguishes it from the rest of the AI sector is the Apple narrative, which is strong, but the narrative is only one half of the equation. The risk to reward has to make sense for it to still be worth holding. And with Render, we have the following factors. March was an incredible month for Render. It was one of the main faces of the AI rally. And now we have the headwind of bag holders who bought up here, who are going to take profit as the price recovers. If we take a look at the price potential, I did a lot of deep thinking, and to me, logically, it makes the most sense to exit Render at around $10 billion in market cap. Yes, that may surprise you because it's quite low, but here's why. If you take a look at the broader picture cycle for Render, you can see that $10 billion is around an AEX for this cycle from the bottom. Secondly, since March, Render has had 2 major competitors launch in the GPU niche, which is Ionet and Aethir, both of which will steal liquidity and attention away from this coin. You can also see the recent weakness it's been having with the new uptrend that we've had in the market. So to sum up on Render, it's facing a different environment than the one that allowed it to get to $5 billion in March, with more competitors already here and more on the way. We also have some more sell pressure from bag holders, and at $10 billion, this coin is up AEX for the entire cycle. That to me makes the risk to reward not ideal, and therefore I'm putting it in C tier. And following on from Render, I want to discuss all of these GPU marketplace coins in crypto. Take a look at how many projects are within this kind of sub-niche now, and you can see just how stiff the competition is. And there's also more really well-funded coins on the way. In my last video, 4 months ago, I discussed Octa as a potential Render beta play, but in my opinion, Render is not so bullish anymore, so it logically follows that Octa and other cloud compute projects are not as bullish. Akash and Render are the more established ones on this list, but they too will be affected as the demand and the liquidity will be spread amongst all of these coins. That's just how crypto is. Success will breed imitation. So using this information, I would rank Akash in C tier below Render, as the narrative for it isn't as strong. And I would also not be interested in adding any of these GPU marketplace coins to my portfolio, including IOs, Nasana, and pretty much most of these, because there's just too many now. And that's a really important takeaway from this video. I'm not saying all of these projects are going to zero. I'm saying for my portfolio, they wouldn't make the cut. There is one over here that has some potential, which I'll share with you in a bit. Now onto Tau so far. Throughout this video, you can see a picture of how lacking crypto AI really is. And the reason Tau ripped so hard off the bottom was because, firstly, it wasn't meant to go that low. If you remember, it got hacked and there was a lot of FUD. I was telling people in the Discord, don't panic so, people won't care after a little while, and that's just based on experience from prior cycles. But the second reason I think it ripped so hard is because of its cult community and the fact that it's one of the few projects really exclusively focused on AI. Render, for example, and Akash, these other coins are compute marketplaces. They just benefit through the GPU association. I said in my last video that Tau is the premium AI coin and it's the leader of the sector, and I haven't changed my mind on that. I looked at future AI launches and there's nothing with serious funding that I can see that will really hurt Tau. Now, as for the risk to reward, it doesn't really make sense to buy the top of this mega rally, and the market cap is quite expensive at the moment, as you have to factor in the emissions and the dilution. I'm putting Tau in A tier, and I would put it in S tier at a cheaper price. Amongst a sea of these sorts of projects, Tau really does stand out as something that has a true pure focus on AI. For those holding it, I would consider it a comfortable hold. Now, ASI is the second true AI-focused large cap in crypto after Tau. Remember, I was just showing you that most AI cryptos are just GPU marketplaces. I think cryptos that are really trying to intersect AI and crypto are the ones that will have the highest chance of pumping the most. But the issues with ASI are the same as the last video. People, and especially new retail, when they come in 2025, won't care about the narrative of it being 4 projects in one. They'll just view it as one big project. And that's why the narrative for me isn't really too clear. The risk to reward at $3.7 billion in market cap, given what I've already said about ceilings regarding Near, is not really an opportunity I'd be interested in taking. So I would put this in the middle of C tier. I think Tau feels a lot more premium compared to this, and it has much more of a core community. Again, it's not really terrible. It's just that I wouldn't make my portfolio because the risk to reward doesn't make sense. Next up, we've got Arkham, which to me is just a blockchain explorer valued at $500 million. I don't see how this is going to be valued at decabillions. It doesn't have the narrative to carry it that far. There's also the matter of insider unlocks coming, although it is a small percentage of the daily volume. You might have noticed that throughout this video, I'm saying no to a lot of things. And that's exactly how it should be in crypto. My goal is to present you with clear opportunities, which is what I'll share with you in just a bit. But most of the time, the clearest, most asymmetric opportunities are not there. They come once every few weeks. I think buying ASI, buying Arkham, buying Render, these are not clear, asymmetric opportunities where you have a mega advantage to make a lot of money. They'll make you money, but they won't make you rich. Unless, of course, you will need a 4 to 5x. Next up, we've got Aethir, which is a must-avoid token for my portfolio. They took in $135 million from retail in the form of node sales. These people are heavily incentivized to recuperate their investments, and they'll do that by dumping the token. The monthly dilution is 6 to 10%, which is really high, and you can see the visible weakness in the chart. It's barely up from its August 5th crash, and it somehow made a lower low in September. I think this is terrible, and it deserves to go in a void. No need to beat around the bush, and again, it's just another GPU marketplace coin. One AI player I do think has some potential is Ionet. It's one of those GPU marketplace projects, but it's completely focused on AI. It has a fresh chart, unlike many other coins in this sector. It's on Coinbase and Binance Spot, and it's also got a Binance Futures listing. That's unique because it's the smallest market cap AI coin that has that important listing. It kind of reminds me of when I found Ondo in its early days. But in terms of risk to rewards, this play only makes sense if you can get in ultra cheap. I'm talking $120 million to $150 million, which is around the $1 region. That's because the risk of buying there is quite low, and the potential for a fast 6x with the AI narrative is there. But this idea, in my opinion, is C-grade in terms of narrative play ideas. Give me some time and I'll find stuff way better than this. At this price, the risk to reward isn't good. And you also have to time it really well because it's important to get out before those VC allocations start unlocking. I'm not surprised that people are flocking to meme coins these days. When it comes to playing these VC coins, you can see how perfect everything needs to line up for it to be worth playing. And it also just goes to show you how few great opportunities there are in the large cap AI sector. At this price, I would avoid it. Now, this next part of the video is really important and is the main part of the video. My unifying thesis for the large cap AI sector in crypto now is it's devoid of opportunities for making big gains this cycle. And that makes sense. AI had a truly dominant run alongside meme coins in March 2024. And even with the big pullbacks, the valuations are still really high. And a lot of these projects are still up around 20x or more from the bottom of this cycle. You also have to consider the $40 billion limit as we've uncovered in this video. The bigger issue is, as you already know, the dilution and proliferation of new projects. That's what causes money to be split amongst more projects, leading to weaker pumps across the board. It's not really something that's in our control, but it's something that we must adapt to as competitors in this space. Everything I'm saying here is frankly bad for my channel because people love watching YouTubers who give them crazy price predictions and tell them coins like Casper are going to go to 100x. I think as crypto YouTubers, we have responsibility to keep it real and not sell dreams because there's real people listening to the things we say. And I think a lot of them, crypto YouTubers, they either don't care or maybe they're too scared to piss people off. Anyways, to be clear, I'm not saying the entire large cap AI sector is dead for gains and it's going to zero. What I'm saying is the gains they'll give from this point are much more limited than you might expect, sort of in the 4 to 6x range. For some of you, that might be okay, but I know a lot of you are dreaming bigger. That's why I believe you have to get serious now and understand that you can't play this cycle the same way as everyone else, sticking all your money in these large caps and hoping for the best. This is something I've discussed for a long time now, the difficulty of this cycle and how you must do things different. So that's why I think the following strategy makes the most sense. I think parking capital in these AI plays and then keeping an eye out for asymmetric opportunities with this profile and rotating that capital is the best way to compound money this cycle. Here's how I do it. I take the money from the AI large caps I'm holding and I'd rotate them into narrative plays, make some quick profits, and then rotate that money back. I call this particular strategy the park and compound strategy. It's a lot easier said than done. It takes much more effort and risk than just sitting there and holding large caps all cycle, but this is also what can provide those bigger gains. This is something I'm making a full video on regarding my new strategy for playing this cycle. Make sure you subscribe for that. And the thing is, you wouldn't necessarily need to do it with all of your portfolio. Even just allocating a small percentage of it to compound can quickly accelerate gains. Again, not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just opening your mind to different strategies and the reality of the situation we're in. The overall purpose of this video was to trigger a mindset shift for you and help you understand that probabilistically, the gains and where you'd have to take profit on these sorts of coins is much earlier than the amount of money you likely want to make this cycle. I've decided for my YouTube channel and my premium going forward, I'm allocating almost all of my time to researching these asymmetric opportunities. I have no promises or guarantees about how often they'll come. Great opportunities don't come very often. If you want early access to these asymmetric ideas I find in crypto, I want to see what narrative plays I'm taking to compound my money with this section of my portfolio, then join Premium. I'm going to be transparent. If you're someone who needs a new meme coin play every couple of days, this service isn't for you. I'm more focused on trying to find big compounding opportunities for my portfolio, and those don't come every couple of days. As I said, it's the one thing I'm focusing on for the next 12 months until the traditional 4-year cycle top. I'll leave the link to Premium in the pinned comments. Thanks for watching.